Thank you, Pradeep, for a nice introduction. Minglabar, Namaste, and good day to everyone. My name is Desh Ratna, and I will be presenting on behalf of Mr. Dinodio on two products. One is black mafti and the green beans. Let me straight away come to the presentation slide. Okay, let me talk about the Myanmar as a country. We have 54 million population, and mainly the population is dominated in two centers. One is Yangon, the second is in the upper Myanmar, that is Mandalay. These are 2019 data. Over a period of time, it has changed. But what you can see drastically on the bottom of the chart is the currency, how the currency, local currency has devaluated. Currently, it is hovering at around 1650 chat to a dollar. It's a net import country, and majority of the exports are from the natural gas, and rice is one of the major commodity apart from pulses and beans. Imports are mainly on the petroleum products, fertilizers, construction materials. Major crops which are grown are the rice, beans, pulses, yellow maize, sesame, sugarcane, and rubber also. We have seaports, almost 9 seaports are spread around Yangon city. So traditionally, how the pulses story began somewhere in 1970s, when it is all pioneered by Mr. Naresh's father, Mr. Pyare Lal, who was one of the pioneers in starting the pulses and beans between Myanmar and India. So early 90s, when Myanmar was transitioned into market economy, and also with the opening of the 1991 liberation program of government of India, market actually boosted up for the trade between India and Myanmar. India almost contributes to around 65% of the pulses and beans, and it has been consistent for the last 5 years. India is one of the highly dependent on pulses, apart from Canada and other countries from Myanmar as well. Total import to India from Myanmar is roughly around 7 lakh metric tons, which is approximately 28% of what Myanmar imports from Myanmar consist of. And total from Myanmar is 15 lakh tons, amounting to $1.1 billion. Myanmar grows around 24 types of beans and pulses. Black mapte, tuor, and mung beans almost contribute 70% of the total pulses in Myanmar. Some of the pulses and beans which are grown in Myanmar are on your screen. You can look at this. Mainly black gram, green gram, and pigeon beans. As I said, it contributes about 70 to 80% of the total production volume. In terms of agricultural practices, pulses are mainly grown after the harvest of the rice season, which is mainly in October, November. And it is harvested somewhere around in March and April. So majority of the pulses are actually sown in the month of October. There is also a dry season crop, which is monsoon crop, which is basically grown in the central plain areas in Shan State and Bago region. But if you compare between the two seasons, 70% of the total beans and pulses are grown in the winter season. And the yield is ranging between 1 to 1.3 million metric tons per hectare. So there is a huge possibility, which I'll talk about in the future slides, where technological intervention can be required, right from the farming stage till the processing stage. As I mentioned earlier, black mapte, mung bean, and tuor, they account roughly around 70 to 78% of the total pulses production. And they are also, by virtue, the largest exported varieties out of Myanmar. So 80 to 90%, as Mr. Vatsal also said, very low quantity is consumed in Myanmar with the local people, and mainly it is exportable product. So tuor is 80-90% exportable, and 70-80% of the black mapte is exported to India. Green gram, over a period of time, though the production has increased, it is mainly catering to China and other Far East market. due to the close proximity which China has across the border trade. So this slide will give you an idea, how the global pulses export market is divided. So Canada contributes roughly 22% of the global export traded share, where Myanmar is almost 8%. So in terms of India. So looking at this slide in terms of pulses production, it is overall pulses and beans production which is happening in Myanmar. If you look at 5 years data, overall production has gradually come down. The prime reason is that, because of certain policies of government of India, the farmer confidence in terms of growing pulses and continuing on the basis of the growing has come down. And slowly they have shifted to the crops like yellow maize or sesame or any other crop, soybean and all. So the green gram production, though it has increased, it is basically going to the cross-border trade into China. So roughly 15 lakh tons are totally exported out of Myanmar, in which share of India is roughly around 7 lakh tons. So in 5 years of time, if you see the production of the pulses has come down from 50 lakh tons to 40 lakh tons. So in terms of varietal, how the production is divided, if you see, again, black gram, green gram, pigeon peas, they again contribute the maximum one, as I mentioned earlier. So in terms of geographical spread out of sowing of pulses, mainly you will see in the Delta region, which is again Ayarwadi region, then Bago region is again dominated by by the pulses growing regions. So these are some of the data which shows how the pulses export has been happening for the last 7-8 years, and majority of the dip has happened in 2017. So 3 crops, green gram, black gram, pigeon peas, is contributing the maximum pulses export out of Myanmar. This slide basically talks about if India is not buying where the exactly the pulses are going. So green gram, basically, as I said, it's across the border trade. China is buying in huge quantity, then Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and similarly black gram as well. So though India buys black gram, it is also going to Pakistan, UAE, Bangladesh. So on black market, if you see, there are variety of products which is available. It started with one ordinary, quality, then which was traded to India earlier. Then other varietal also came in, like FAQ, FQ, SQ, and now SSQ is also coming up, where we are trading with Japan. So how do we look, the numbers for the black market this year? So on the right side, if you see, for 2021, we had the opening of carry forward stock of 28,000 tons. We expect a crop to be exported roughly 5,50,000. Till date, we have exported 2,50,000. So we expect another 2.5 lakh tons to happen by this year end. This year, if you see, we started with a slow movement since 16th March and was still, due to the local conditions, political situation, the supply was slightly, slowed down. But in the last 4 or 5 months, we had a good export of almost 1,80,000 to 2 lakh tons. And mainly in June, the volumes actually exploded. So once this opening up of imports happened from India, we witnessed, certain movement of vessels, a certain movement of orders coming from India. June itself saw a multitude of direct vessels and also direct container vessels between, the first 3 weeks of June, and mainly it went to Kolkata, Nhava Sheva, Chennai. So this is the reason why, the export volumes have been, increasing. So roughly 1 lakh had moved into Chennai. Mainly black market, almost 80% is black market. Now coming to green gram. So green gram, roughly, earlier India was importing green gram, but over a period of time, with the self-sufficiency that happened in India, the volumes being traded from Myanmar to India has drastically come down. Myanmar does produce 4 variety of green mung bean like Anya Shiva, Khampedi, Bago, Tongi, Pokaku, and Wakema. China is one of the major buyers across.
Desh, can I interrupt you for one moment? There's a bar
Yeah.
at the bottom about the screen sharing. There's a hide button there. Can you hide that because the last line is getting covered by that? No, right at the bottom there. Thank you. Continue, please.
Yeah. So I was talking about the 4 major varieties of green mung bean, which is basically grown in Myanmar and traded also. And it mainly goes to the Asian countries. And China is one of the largest buyers across the border. The mung production, actually, it has grown in Myanmar because the consumption from China has actually enabled the farmers to grow more mung. And the farm economics also help them to grow mung more to cater to China border. Apart from China, Vietnam and Philippines are also some of the countries which import green mung. So as I mentioned earlier, farmers shifted from BMP to mung for China requirement, which is a ready cash for them. Estimated export of green mung beans around 4.5 lakh metric tons with little quantity carryover stock for the next year. That's the projection. As mentioned earlier, India has a marginal import from Myanmar and import green mung bean mainly from Tanzania if needed be. The last few years, Indian import of green mung has been restricted to few containers. Also, we got some news that, as one of the panelists has spoken about mung in the earlier session, that the availability of mung is going to be higher, roughly 4% higher. So that is one of the reasons why there will be no such trade flow or very little trade flow from Myanmar into India for green mung bean. These are the last 3-4 years prices, how the prices for each commodity like black gram, pigeon peas, green gram has behaved. So what are the challenges which Myanmar has in terms of the crops which is available for exports? So we have a high dependency on the single market. So market diversification is something which we should look out for. And you see gradually how other countries like UAE, Pakistan, Vietnam, Japan, all these countries have come up in terms of their requirement fulfillment from Myanmar. Freight, as also mentioned by other panelists, has become high during past season. Right, the container availability is also a big constraint. From $400 to FCL to almost $2,000 FCL, we are witnessing. Logistic cost is very high in this period of time from village to the port area. Current challenges on the banking front, where liquidity is a big concern, is also one of the concerns for the local traders and also the other stakeholders. Vessel loading constraint we are facing due to rains, which is currently happening in Myanmar. We have certain challenges in terms of modernization of the storage and processing within this pulses sector. One of the major challenges, earlier I think President has spoken about the quality of seed which is required for all these crops so that the productivity at the farm level or yield to grow up. We definitely look out for LC payment within India-Myanmar relationship, which might enhance the business volume. More flexibility in terms of or more understanding on the quota and policy front from India perspective. More direct vessel, I think people have spoken about. Short vessel, low in weight quantity can move between two countries. And digitalization of the documents are required for 5-point COI. What we see in this scenario for black market, irrespective of the government policies, prices will remain range bound and will be on the upper side post August. Farmers at Myanmar have been highly demotivated by the traditional trade flow to India due to policies. And this is again a personal, and I would put a disclaimer here, and they might stay away from sowing pulses and would rather prefer soybean, peanuts, or yellow maize, instead of other commodities and pulses. Constraint in logistics of the freight for container movement is a challenge in this current scenario for all the commodities, not only pulses, but even for the rice we see. And though it's getting better in the last few weeks, but the challenges remain the same. Vessel loads are a better option for movement of cargo at this stage. One of the appeal we wanted to make to the Indian counterparts to come and invest in the quality seed production program or in the farm mechanization program, which will help basically the farmers to have a better yield of their crops. Maybe post-harvest crop management can also be looked at. The government of Myanmar would be happy to invite you and work jointly with you to study and execute these farm-based work, which can be a good possibility. Possibility of growing pulses like red lentils, which again President IMCC mentioned about. The white paper was prepared and submitted to UMFCCI, our local chamber, where India roughly imports 4.5-5 lakh tons of red lentils from Canada. Can this upper Myanmar location can be studied for growing the red lentils, and evacuation can happen from Myanmar into India? That's the study has been done by me primarily and presented to the UMFCCI through chamber, through IMCC. So we are jointly studying this, and we are happy to invite anybody who would like to participate in this program.